we're going to morning services and it's not Shabbat or a festival holiday, then we should take our tefillin with us. Or at synagogue, ask for an extra pair of tefillin. We wear them every weekday morning. And when we take them out of the package, out of the bag, we see that there are two parts. The first part is the tefillin shel yad, which means the arm piece. Yad means arm, and if you don't read Hebrew, we have two arms. The yad is the box with two letters. And the second piece is the tefillin sharosh, the headpiece. Looks like this. So we begin by putting on the shel yad, the arm piece. We roll up our talit. We roll up our sleeves. If we're wearing a sweater or long sleeve, we want to roll it up before we start putting it on. And we begin by unwrapping the long strap. Again, with the shel yad, the arm piece. This is the one with the much longer strap. So we take off the straps off the sides of the case, and we unspool. We just smooth out the strap so as not to have any knots. It's much easier to put it on without knots than to do so and fight the knots as we try to wrap. I turn the box upside down and I loosen this strap. I open the base of the box and I pop out the tefillin. I put the case away. My tefillin has, and yours may have, a protective black box that goes on top. That should stay on it, so long as it's black. You want to loosen the strap so that there's enough room to move up your arm, and it should be smooth. So I roll up my sleeve, and I push my tefillin. The box goes right up the arm, almost as high as it goes. Not in the armpit, but right close to it, short of that. And with my forearm, I hold it in place. And now with my right arm, I make sure the strap is smooth, that is not tied up or twisted. And I'm about to say the first blessing, the first bracha, and to really tighten the tefillin piece. The bracha, the blessing goes like this. It's in the Sidur. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'haniach tefillin. So the first strap, and I should also say that I'm right-handed, so I wrap with my right hand on my left arm. If you are a lefty, then you want to do the opposite of everything I do today. Take your left hand and wrap it on your right arm. So with my right arm, the first wrap is the most important, and remember this, over to you. Just like the broadcaster handing the mic to the next person, over to you, we're going to wrap over our arm towards ourselves, towards our bodies. So we take the strap, and we do over to you, over the arm, towards me. The first loop starts above the elbow, and it finishes below the elbow. It crosses the inside of the elbow like this. You pull it tight, not too tight that it makes your arm blue, but tight enough that it doesn't move. And then you keep going. And you're going to form 7 loops, 7 rings between the elbow and the wrist. Ready? And typically we wouldn't talk it. This is part of a sacred act. And kids, this is harder for you starting out because your arms have not reached their full length. And as you get older, your arms get bigger. There'll be more room for these 7 straps. Once you've done 7, you wrap a few around the palm, and you stop just to make sure that you have 7. So I take my 4 fingers and I touch these 4 on the right side, and if I have 3 left on the left, then I know I have 7. But you can count 2, 2, 2, 1. You can count different ways so long as you have 7. Once I'm sure I have 7, I tape the remainder of the strap and I wrap it loosely around the palm. That's part 1. 1 of 3. The first part is the arm, the second part is the head, and the third part is the hand. Now let's take out the shel rosh, the headpiece. Again, we begin by unspooling the strap off of the box, off the case, and we smooth it out. Takes a couple of times. And we release this loop. We open the case, it's easiest from the bottom. We take the tefillin out like this. We give it a kiss, put the case away. You see that there's a ring here. Make sure it's smooth, and this ring will go right on top of your head. Don't want to be twisted, and don't want anything between this ring and your hair. So if you're wearing a ball cap or a really large kippah, take off the hat or the kippah and put the tefillin on first. So this goes right on top. And this box should be centered. And right before I release it, I say the second bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mitzvat Tefillin. I continue with the words Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. I move my hands and I check to make sure there are no knots or twists. And I check to feel that the box is centered in the middle. If I have a mirror or something, that's helpful too. And then I take, you see there are two straps. I make sure that there's one on each side. So I pull from behind so that the right strap is on the right side, the left strap is on the left. And I pull them so that the black is facing out. Black always faces out, and the brown always faces in. When you pull it on, you don't want to yank down. You should just rest there nicely and comfortably. And the box should be at the base where the hairline is, or was in some cases. And the knot in the back should be at the nape of the neck. It should look like this. And if it's too loose or too tight, bring it into synagogue and we can adjust it for you. It's now time to wrap the hand. This is certainly the trickiest part of wrapping tefillin. I'm going to show you the way I was taught. If you have a parent or teacher who teaches one specific way, feel free to continue and to wrap in that fashion. If you don't, then I invite you to follow my lead. The way I do it is the way I think it's the dominant Ashkenazi practice. So I unspool the strap and I take out all the knots, and I begin with the one strap over the palm. I'm going to turn my hand a couple times, I think it's easiest. First, I turn the palm over, so what I see is this. And I'm going to wrap it 3 times on my middle finger. The first time, I make one loop. Again, everything is towards me on the bottom, below the knuckle. And then I'm going to make 2 loops, really form an X above the knuckle. I go like this. There's one. Now I come down. That's what it looks like. And as I do that, I say a line from the Siddur. Ve'erastif li le'olam, ve'erastif li be'tzedek u'b'mishpat, u'b'chesed u'rachamim, ve'erastif li be'emunah, ve'edat et Adonai. I then tuck in the strap between my ring finger and pinky. That's the hard part. I'm really finished at this point. I turn the palm over, and I bring the strap down to my thumb to make a V. It should be a nice V, and the top should look like this. And I'm basically finished. I take the remainder of the strap, and I go right down the middle. And there's my shin. I wind it again and again until the strap runs out, and some have more strap here and some have less, and that's okay. And when I am finished, again, you want it to be tight that it's snug, doesn't move, but not so tight that your hand turns blue. When there's just a little bit left, like this, I tuck it directly against my skin, and I pull. This way, it won't move. There's a little left over, like this. I tuck it in again. Maybe one more time. It doesn't really matter. I turn it over and I tighten this middle strap, which has a couple layers, make it nice and smooth. And I adjust the top of the middle finger so that it's a nice X. So here are the 3 rings around the middle finger, 1, 2, 3. And here's my nice clean shin. And this is our tefillin, and we're ready to go.